Alright, look, there are just 15 heroes that I want to be added to Marvel Rivals, but when I was going through Marvel characters, there are like 30 more that I came up with, but I don't know how many they want to add into this game as kind of like that end game result. Obviously, they put out a ton at release, so maybe they're cool with having 60, 70, 80 characters in Marvel Rivals, which would be absolutely bonkers. Anyway, feel free to throw in the comments any characters you want to see, but just know I'm sure I considered them. I was just trying to limit to 15 that I think would fit the style of the game. Also, enjoy the gameplay in the background. I've really been enjoying playing Mantis, but also I feel like I suck with everybody else, so enjoy. Alright, starting off, full disclosure, I was a big fan of the X-Men growing up, so quite a few of these are X-Men. I definitely enjoyed playing them. I enjoyed the comics, I enjoyed the cartoons, so there's a few X-Men in here. Anyway, first up, Colossus, a metal tank. What honestly more do you need in this game? We do need kind of, in my opinion anyway, some more old school style X-Men characters. There are some on this list, but others I definitely left out. There's some obvious team up opportunities with Colossus and other X-Men, like Wolverine would be a great example, similar to how Groot or Hulk would be. And obviously, there's the throwing opportunity, just like they do with Hulk, to do with Colossus. Next up, I have Thanos, which adding more villains would be great into this game. Thanos, I think you're gonna have to like walk a fine line with him to not make him like so overpowered. You're gonna have to almost make him weak in some sense. Obviously, pretty strong. He's also has been involved with the X-Men, Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, so would fit right into this universe perfectly. He's got abilities around speed, strength, durability, mystical crap, really anything. So, and dude is immune to virtually anything and everything. So, yeah, I think you just give him tons of health, make him like an easy target. Yeah, I don't know. Like, can't do stuff up close. I don't know what you do with him, or has no distance abilities. Maybe make him slow. I'm not sure. Obviously, he can't be like just insanely powerful, but he needs to be into this game. Again, another obvious villain and tank that should be in. There are tons of options, I think, to make him a total badass in this game, but you need to find ways to not make him OP. That's for for them to decide, not me. All right, next up, Gambit. I feel like this is my first like big one that I really want to have added. Gambit is a must. Really, or I riot. I think I know he's become kind of popular again with Deadpool and Wolverine, and having Channing Tatum play the character again, so he's kind of become a little bit more popular. I grew up with the X-Men comics, and then I started buying like the Gambit comics and stuff in the '90s. Like it was my favorite, and then obviously the cartoons. So dude would fit in with this style perfectly. He's got great abilities that would blend into this game. The throwing cards with kinetic energy would be perfect in my opinion. Just DPS the dude, and we're good to go. Next up would be Jean Grey, who we don't really have somebody with like this type of telepathy in this game. So the ability to like move opponents or something would be kind of totally bonkers, like some type of control over them. Obviously, that would be an ultimate, or you know, it'd have to limit it somehow, but would be pretty cool and unique to add in, I think. Maybe even a Phoenix tease or something with like a damage dealing ultimate, or just add Phoenix in separately. I don't care. Or just a Phoenix skin. I don't know. Anyway, I could see her totally being a support character, and maybe teaming up with other X-Men. You know, I don't know. But the team ups also seem pretty obvious. All right, next up I have Jubilee. Jubilee was never like an overly popular member of the X-Men. I think she came out in like the early '90s or something like that, or maybe late '80s. I can't remember when she was introduced in the comics, but her style, her abilities would fit right into the Marvel Rivals universe as well. Gymnastics abilities could make her like a DPS specialist. skills to get in and out of combat. The pyrotechnic energy blast as an attack, again, fits right into this game with the style and the little energy blasts and stuff. So yeah, it would work great. She instantly bonded with Wolverine in the comics and the cartoons as a team up opportunity, so that exists already, but could easily team up with Gambit and other X-Men. Next up, a little bit of a surprise, but again, I was thinking really about just the style of game. I think Dazzler. I feel like a very short-lived character in the early 80s, made kind of temporary comeback, whatever, 10, 15 years ago, something like that. But that being said, kind of like Jubilee, just not a super popular amongst the fans, but very easily could fit into this style. Dazzler uses like the sound vibrations, making like energy and light beams and things like that. So big into disco music. So my assumption, or how I would see her playing out, almost like that Ultimate as well. It's a very similar support hero like Luna Snow, where an Ultimate would kind of open that dance floor and heal everybody, something like that. So it obviously fits her perfectly. So yeah, let's get Dazzler in there. Next up, I have Gamora. I think they're probably going to finish up the Guardians at some point. But spoiler alert, I did leave off like Nebula and Drax off my list just because I was trying to leave it to like 15. So, but Gamora I think would be a super easy fit and style to just throw into this. But you know, let's bring in all the Guardians at some point. Anyway, back to Gamora. Tons of agility, blades, passive healing. Would most likely be a DPS character with like that agility and skill set. Just make her kind of overly aggressive, in-your-face hero like the Iron Fist is currently, or Wolverine. I think that would fit her perfectly. Next up, which would be kind of a unique one, is Ant-Man. So Ant-Man's been around, you know, he's one of these OGs that's been around since the 60s, founding member of the Avengers, worked with the Fantastic Four. So, and again, like just the Scott Lang version of this, abilities, team-ups, again, also would be super great. You could make him an obvious DPS character, would change size to get in and out of fights, hard flanks, things like that. I think could be a lot of fun, really unique, especially if you make him big or what. You know, there's tons of little options there with Ant-Man, so I feel like would be a pretty cool ad. Next up, I have Iceman, who's again one of these original X-Men, been around since the 60s. So let's do them right. Ability to kind of control water and cold and turn anything into ice, including himself. So shooting ice blasts, creating like ice slides, virtually kind of gives him that flying ability as well. So another easy option as a DPS character to get in and out of fights. And then team up options galore. I think you know, the more X-Men you add, the more team up options. Next up, I have Beast. Hyper aggressive, agile tank. Just copy and paste Venom. I think is Beast. You know, just make him blue, and instead of being able to sling around like Venom does, you know, give him like a huge leaping ability. He's virtually the same. You know, like Venom and Hulk. You know, make him the same thing. But you know, the ability to jump super high, climb on walls, things like that, kind of mix the Venom and Spider-Man aspect of him, gives him that kind of get out of jail free card. And then again, original X-Men, I think is worth representing in the game. Next up, I think is probably everybody else's like number one. He is definitely a must. Outside of Gambit, I think this person needs to be in this game, is Deadpool. There's a pretty obvious hero on this list that needs to be added, and that is Deadpool. You already have the Wolverine Deadpool option in the store, so this seems like this is something that's obviously going to happen. He would be a favorite pick right out of the gate for pretty much everybody. Great personality, the passive healing, pistols to shoot from a distance, sword for up close and personal. Almost like he is meant to be in this game. So yeah, let's just release Deadpool and get it done and over with, please. Okay, next up, the final four that I have here. I think if you're counting right, and I say the final four, I think your guess is accurate. the Fantastic Four. So number 12, 13, 14, and 15, you've got Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and Thing. So Mr. Fantastic, great options to personally be a DPS support or potentially a tank, but would be a weird fit with things. So I would think a DPS or a support character would be fine. In my opinion, just make him a DPS because you do have Invisible Woman, who I think would be an obvious support character. But again, jumping back to Mr. Fantastic, ability to like stretch and, you know, makes him an easy like DPS with like punches from a distance. The ability to like form a wall and protect kind of gives him that tank or support option, but I think the DPS is the way to go for him. Invisible Woman, number 13, clearly the support of this, the ability to go invisible, create like invisible force fields, things like that, just make it healing, I think would make a pretty obvious solution for a support character for her. And then Human Torch, another flying DPS character. It's honestly probably going to drive me insane. Those are the people that I hate the most outside of Iron Fist. Yes, the flying Iron Man and everything like that. Hella, yeah, no, I'm sick of those people. Scarlet Witch, no, go away. So Human Torch, yeah, exact same concept. Flying DPS character. So yeah, and shooting fireballs down from the sky would be honestly pretty freaking cool. So, and he's got obviously some potential for pretty amazing ultimate there, and then obviously the team up abilities with everybody of the Fantastic Four. And then finally, not to leave him off, is Thing. So another obvious tank, as you know, a freaking stone. So you know, have him chuck stones at people, make stone walls, something. So a great tank opportunity here. Tons of durability, strength, and then obviously those team ups. So that is it. There are a ton more I would love to see in the game. So I could have made this the 30, 40, 50 heroes I want to see, but you know, Daredevils, this Sabretooth, Doctor Doom, Cyclops, Angel or Archangel, Luke Cage, Apocalypse. I mean, heck, bring in Howard the Duck. You know, but anyway, let me know who you want to see in the comments below, and obviously don't forget to like and subscribe, silly. All right, later.